Welcome to the demo of the Dropbox integration in Blackboard Learn. Dropbox seamless integration with Blackboard Learn enables faculty, students, and staff to use the tools they love. Bringing these tools together results in increased user satisfaction and deeper engagement across the institution's entire community. A few ways to leverage the integration include streamlining instructor workflows, improving the student experience, and maximizing your institution's technology investments. Let's take a look at the system admin experience. Before the Dropbox integration building block can be used, it needs to be configured and tested by the system administrator. This is a pretty quick and straightforward process. For the newer versions of Blackboard, Q1 2016 release or later, the Dropbox integration building block is already installed and just needs to be configured. On systems that are a little bit older, like the Q4 2015 or Q2 2016, the building block needs to be downloaded from the Blackboard extensions catalog first and then installed, and the configuration process remains the same. Let's take a look at what the system admin needs to do to get the building block up and running. We'll go into the system admin panel and go to the building blocks list and then install tools. And from here, I'm going to go find my Dropbox building block, and I'm going to look at the settings page. This is what the page looks like initially for any integration or Dropbox building block integration that's not yet been configured. It's looking for an app key. To get an app key, it's a matter of clicking the Dropbox Chooser developer page, which will take you to the Dropbox app console. You can create a brand new app as an admin and configure all the settings, and once you're done, the app will have its own app key. It is this app key that then goes in that box. So let's take a look at what it looks like for an already configured system. Here's a different Blackboard system, same version, but the app key has already been created and configured, and it's a matter of clicking Verify Dropbox Configuration. If you're already signed in, it will show you that you're signed in, and this is exactly what you want to see. If you're not, you can actually fully test it by signing out, closing the window, and then clicking Verify again. You'll get the pop-up box, you'll be able to sign in, and as long as you are able to navigate directly to the files listed in your personal Dropbox account, you know that the integration is set up on the building block side. So once that's done, you'd submit your changes. In this case, I've made no changes. And the last thing you'll need to do is make sure that the tool is available system-wide. So I'm going to jump back to the system admin panel, and I'm going to go down to the tools, inside tools and utilities. And from within tools, I'm going to go find the Dropbox tool, which is down in the list here, and I'm going to make sure that it's configured how I want. So in this case here, I am making sure that the mashup is turned on, and for the course tool, I always like to make sure it's on system-wide so I can use it, but you can decide if it's going to be available by default or as an option in new and/or existing courses. Once you've made your changes and hit submit, the Dropbox tool is now ready for users across all courses in Blackboard. Once the Dropbox integration has been made available by the system administrator, we're going to now take a look at what the instructor experience might look like. Keep in mind that for instructors, the Dropbox integration will show up as a mashup tool available on the third row of the visual text box editor. This will happen throughout the course wherever the text box editor appears. This includes areas like content creation, tests, discussion boards, blogs, journals, wikis, announcements, feedback, and grading notes. This allows instructors the option to be able to link into Dropbox files virtually anywhere they want to position Dropbox content to their students as part of the teaching and learning experience within their course. The first time experience involves a very quick single sign-on, and I'm going to you'll see that when I go through the first example. It'll be clicking the Browse Dropbox button and linking up with the existing credentials. We're going to take a look at that as part of our first example. So I'm going to go into a course content area here, and it's my chapters folder. I'm going to navigate into chapter 1. The first example is going to be adding a Dropbox link or links to an assignment. So you'll see I've got assignment 1 already here. It's got some text in it. This is a regular Blackboard assignment tool. I'm going to add some links to Dropbox content within this assignment. So I'll go ahead and edit this assignment. So I've kind of started it already, and I'm going to put my cursor where I want to include some additional content. So you notice here, as for ideas, see this example submission. And the idea here is that I want to, as an instructor, be able to make a file available to my students as part of the instructions of this assignment. That file right now lives in my Dropbox account. So I'm going to link that in. The benefits of this here is once I do that linkage, I can then edit that file later in my own Dropbox account, and every time students click the link, they will see the most current version of that file. That allows me to have much better file management on the instructor side and not siloing my file content. So now that my cursor is there, I'm going to use the mashups tool here in the third row of the tool text box editor and choose Dropbox. The very first time the user clicks Dropbox and they click that Browse Dropbox button, they're going to be asked to sign in. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in, and it's going to take me directly to my Dropbox folders and files. If I want to sign out at any time, it's available for me there. So I can kill or disconnect this integration whenever I want, but leaving myself signed in is nice because no matter what browser I go to, I can always be signed in. I don't have to repeat that. So I'm going to go into my Blackboard folder here, which is within my Dropbox folder. I'll navigate into the proper course, and I want to include this example. So just clicking the file is all I need to do. I'll click Choose. The window behind will kind of give me a little preview, and the icon as well as the file name will be inherited and directly added into the Blackboard course. And so I added one example here, and that's it. That's all I need to do as an instructor. And it's anywhere that mashups button is available in that third row toolbar within the text editor, I can do what you saw here. So in this case, I'm adding Dropbox files to the instructions of an assignment. So I'll go ahead and submit that. Something to keep in mind is that students will see it just like this, and when they click on that document, they're going to be taken directly to it. If the student doesn't have a Dropbox login, they will still be able to view that file. Nothing prevents them from seeing it. It hasn't shared with them because they're a student in this course. Let's take a look at another example of an instructor using the integration to include Dropbox content within their course. So I'm going to navigate back to my chapters folder and go into a different folder here. So I'm going to go into the chapter 2, and I've got a different kind of item in my Blackboard course. So the previous example was an assignment. In this example here, I'm going to be using just a basic content item. So you'll see I created this by clicking Build Content and then Item. So what I'll do here is I'm going to go ahead and edit this item, and it's going to be that same process again. So I'm going to position the cursor where I want to ultimately include the links to my Dropbox files. I'll use that mashups button again, choose Dropbox, and because I'm already signed in, when I click Browse Dropbox, I won't be asked to sign in again. In this case here, I can navigate back into my Blackboard folder. I'm going to go back into my biology folder, and I want to include, let's say, this file and that file there. So I'll hit choose. Again, same idea. I'm going to have an icon that represents the file type. The file name will come over, and those links will be put right in line with the rest of the content that I already have. I click submit, and now I've incorporated files that live in my Dropbox account and link them into the content that is facing to my students. When students click on those links, they will render natively within the Dropbox app. It'll look very much like this when the students click it, and I can even view it as an instructor as well to see what I placed in my course. The Dropbox integration is also available to student users. In addition to the mashups menu within the third row of the visual text box editor, where applicable, students have a dedicated Browse Dropbox button. And the difference with the Browse Dropbox button is an added functionality of, where appropriate, making sure that a copy of the file from the student's Dropbox account is uploaded and static and remains part of the course record in Blackboard. So for example, with a file that might be submitting for an assignment, we don't want the student to be editing the assignment after they've submitted it. Their response is kind of locked into the course. So on the back end, it automatically makes a copy, but the workflow is very seamless for the student. Let's take a look. I'm going to navigate into the same course, but as a student user. I'm going to go into my chapter 1, and there's that assignment the instructor added for me. I'm going to go ahead and access the assignment. I can look at the instructions, I can access the file, and I'm going to then upload my paper to the instructor. So in addition to the Browse My Computer and Browse Content Collection, because the integration is available on this Blackboard server, the Browse Dropbox button is now available. So I click it, I do my first time sign in, just like you saw with the instructor, and then I can navigate to whatever I want to submit. So I'm going to go ahead and submit this as my sample. I click choose. The link title will automatically be pulled in, and then I can go ahead and submit my assignment. And what's happened on the back end is that file is now locked in. The file still remains in the Dropbox account for the student, but it is now permanently uploaded and saved with this file submission for the course record.